Hey guys, we're gonna hang out for just a couple of minutes. Varun and Sean should jump in shortly. But if you have a question, go ahead and throw it into the chat and we'll go down the list in order. So let's see where these guys are. And let me send this live on Facebook here. Hey Mary, I'm just sending this live on Facebook, 1 sec. Is it gonna work today? Yes, all right. HighLevel weekly Q&A. Join here. All right, so hi everyone, welcome to this week's Q&A. If you've got a question, go ahead, hop over to Zoom and throw it into the chat. Who's kicking us off today? How's everyone doing?
Good. I was just curious on the bulk actions. Are those coming out?
Me too. They're in they're in QA.
Oh, okay.
Awesome. So Sean, what does that mean? QA next week, the week after? Is it looking good? Have you heard anything?
So Varun's words to me were, it's in QA, but it looks good. So we'll see. I think that was his exact words.
Cool. Well, he should be hopping in a minute too, so we can.
But I'm basically they did a round of QA last week. They had to make some updates. They made those. They sent it back into QA this week, and I think that's kind of where we stand. So I think it's one of those things where, assuming QA doesn't find anything additional, then we're ready to rock. Otherwise, we won't be.
Awesome. All right. First question is from Steph. Will memberships get a place that customers can see all courses like Marketplace?
Yes, that is on the list, and that will eventually happen.
Cool. So doesn't that happen now if your offer includes everything? If you had an offer that
Yeah,
included all
but
products?
what a lot of people are talking about there is, I buy your $97 offer, right? But but now I've got the $297 and the $397 course, or the additional $97 courses right next to them, and I can see them. And if I just click, I can like unlock or upgrade or buy and add those courses automatically. And a lot of people swear by that as a way to upgrade their membership stuff.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Gotcha. Cool. James, will we be able to edit custom fields inside of surveys after it's been created? Okay, so right now you make a custom field and then you got to go to settings.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you got that one too.
Yeah, so right now you have to go back to settings to edit it. He's asking, will we ever enable it so that you could edit it from within the survey or the form builder?
No, I don't mean that. I just mean changing options, even like multiple options. You can't go back and add new values. It's just whatever you put in initially is where it's stuck, no matter where you go.
Oh, you can't go to settings, custom fields, and edit the options for like a multiple choice one?
From what I saw, you can only change the title and the placeholder. You can't change anything else after that. Like it's just stuck. Like there's no edit button for that besides those two, I believe.
Let me just double check that. Custom fields. Let's find one that is checkbox. Edit. No, you can change the values. So
really,
if I share my screen here. All right, so I'm in custom fields, right? And we go to like, well, here's a checkbox one. You can come down here and add another.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is in the settings section.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I've been going to the survey builder. It doesn't do it there. So I can do it in the settings.
If you go settings, custom fields, yep.
Ah, okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Sure. All right, let me add some more people in from the waiting room. Okay, next up, Mary Sue, update on the new email designer and workflow.
New email designer is in Q. Oh, Varun's got it. Go for it.
Yeah, so the email builder is in QA right now. We started handing out links to a few customers just to beta it out. There's nothing you can build and send there, but just the builder and just to get a feel for it and what bugs they found. So I think in another couple of weeks, the email builder should be live. The workflow is probably towards the end of November, but that's coming along well.
Excellent. Steph, will there be an ability to have appointments every other Friday on a calendar?
Not yet. I mean, we don't have that on the list yet. I think we have Zoom integration and Office 365 first, but after that we could look at recurring appointments, but it isn't on the list yet.
Gotcha. So yeah, people have been asking about that. Have we determined the order of those two that we're going to roll them out, Zoom versus Office?
Zoom first.
Zoom first and then Office. Cool. Okay. Steph, is there ability to block email phone numbers?
So this does not exist today. There are some customers who work around this limitation. What they do is they build a blacklist in Twilio, and they have a Twilio function that gets invoked, checks against their blacklist to make sure that this is an allowed number, and then sends it on to HighLevel. But this will natively be built in to HighLevel. It just isn't right now. I'd say Q1 of next year, we'll definitely have the ability to block emails and phone.
Cool. Spencer, I'm having some issues sending bulk requests. Not sure if this is the best place to do this or if I should just hit up support. Spencer, do you want to hop off mute and let us know, describe the problem?
Sure. Let me, can I share my screen with you? Is that cool?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I've been trying to fire this bulk request for about, I think the last 30 or 40 minutes or so. I uploaded a list with just the lead tag, and I've tried to delete it and redo it a couple of times. It just keeps showing me an execution time, and if I pause and unpause it, it never changes to playing. It just is always in queue, and nobody's ever added to the actual campaign itself.
What time is it where you're at?
It's 1:10 now.
Can you go back to bulk requests?
Mm-hmm.
It's 1:10. Okay, so you created this 20 minutes ago?
Yeah, so this one was for 12:35, and then it didn't go out, so I didn't know if it was like a bug, and I stopped this one, recreated this one.
So the execution time is based on the location time zone, not on your current time zone. So it looks like this one's LA. Which time zone are you in?
I'm
no,
in Eastern.
that's Louisiana, I think. Hit settings, and then go to company. Chicago.
Yeah.
Are you in Chicago at that
I'm
time
not.
zone?
I'm in Philadelphia. So is this why it's firing based off of their time zone, not mine?
That's right.
Correct.
Exactly.
And honestly, if you want a bulk request to go out now, don't select the time at all. So literally go back there and just hit pause on that bulk request. Hit create new bulk request. Man, I can't wait for this to go away this week, hopefully. Just put a name in there, grab your campaign. Do not select a scheduled date and time.
And
Just
even
right
if
here.
you do, there's a now button.
It's okay. And hit play.
Okay. Yeah, I hit now, and I think that it still changed it to my time. I did not realize that it had.
Yeah, if you use now, it'll grab whatever your time is rather than there.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you guys. I had no idea that was even a thing, so I appreciate it.
Don't worry. We'll hopefully have a video out this week completely changing how this works. But the good news is it'll be a lot easier.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you guys for your help. I appreciate it.
You got it. So that answers, who had that next question of update on bulk actions? It's in QA right now, hopefully next week.
The bulk actions is in QA right now, and we were actually hoping for this week, and it still might make it. So we just had one small hiccup there where the developer working on it caught COVID. So,
Oh no.
But he's young, he'll be fine. But it might push our timeline by a bit. But it's in QA. Hopefully this week, worst case next week.
Awesome. Mary Sue, it would be awesome if you could demo the bulk actions.
So let me see if I have the staging version. I'll pull that up.
All right, while he's working on that, the next question, Brian, any update on Flow Builder release? I'm in Haiti and I haven't been in the loop. Yeah.
Workflow, we're aiming to get into beta end of November.
End of November, all right. How's that? Do you think you're going to be able to demo that, Varun?
Oh yeah, I'm just opening it up.
Cool. Sergio, Varun, any feedback on changing manual call dispositions via API?
We don't have this on the list right now, but we can certainly add it.
Anyway, I can just go in the database and add a record or change it. That would
so
be
we are planning
help.
to add a conversations. So is this for just for the call disposition, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll add a proper API so you can update it.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, this is cool. I'm just playing with the email builder. Coach Javi, having a problem with links in emails. Javi, do you want to hop off mute?
So
yeah, I actually
yes. And can you share?
Go ahead. I had that problem yesterday, and I wanted to jump in here to show it to you guys, but I'm testing it right now. It looks like it was the links that I would put in. I have a lady who does a lot of emails, and she owns 3 different associations, and the emails were sent in there, and they were added into in the email, in those emails, when they were sent the email and the emails were coming in, when you click on it, it would go back to the server of Go HighLevel, not to the link. But
so that was fixed. So there was a bug there. I think
there was?
When you tested the link now, yes, there was. So when you tested the link now, it worked.
Earlier, it was not working. Now it is.
Yeah. So we found out about it today morning and we fixed it about 10 minutes later.
Okay.
So it should be working now, but there was a bug there. Yes.
Okay, perfect.
But all the links that are already there in the emails will also work.
All right, let me test it right now then. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see here.
So hold on, let me take the screen. Hopefully this is a decent build. And I mean, there's multiple options. It looks like he got the send email in as well. So you pick a bunch of contacts. You can schedule out an SMS. You can pick from an existing template if you have one. So if you pick just a row of contacts, like just the 20 on this page, it doesn't give you the schedule out options. But if you pick more than a page of contacts, and this is something that we're also working to fix, so you can drip even to 20. You have the process all at once or process in batches. And I mean, some of the UI over here and some of the text changes before it goes live. But this is the base of it. You put in an SMS, you can say when it should start. So I wanted to start sending on the 5th at 9 a.m.
We should show the time. We should show the time. We should start showing the time zone that's going to send out on, since it gets confusing for most people.
Yeah, we can do that. And process once a day. You could even say once an hour, or we have the other breakdowns as well. And again, over here, there's skip processing on. This will change. It will instead say send on, and it'll be Monday to Friday. That's picked by default. But right now, since it says skip processing on, don't send on Saturday and Sunday. That's it. So this would be an SMS, and it's the same thing with the email. You can edit the email as well. It looks like we don't have a template, but you can put in a subject, put in the content for the email, or pick it from the template and do the same options. And you can attach files, all of this.
Can I ask a quick question on the bat? It says on that option, it said start processing with the oldest content or contact. Is that the action will run?
The reason for this is, the reason for this is depending on the sorting that you have, and we'll really have to test this out once we get it out. At least for our QA team and for a lot of people internally, it was really confusing on how this was going to run. Like if there was a new contact that came in and they got added into the smart list, like they match all of the same parameters for the smart list. Should I send to this person or not? Like if I've already gone past, maybe the person gets added and based on the sorting, they go into the first page, but the bulk action has already gone past the first page. So should it send to this person? Yes or no? And what if they got added to the second page and the bulk action had gone past the first page? So there's these cases where depending on the sorting on the page, so if it's sorted by name and the person's name started with an A, but you've already gone past the A, it's not going to send to them. But if you've gone past the A and the person's name starts with a C and you're moving on, it will send to them. So there were all of these type of edge cases we were running into. And instead we were like, you know, what's better is we'll just send from newest to oldest. So any contact that comes in after the fact will still get factored in. This is something that I didn't want to do, but the team convinced me that any other option was very confusing. So we'll see. Once we roll this out, depending on the feedback, we can always tweak this.
So you mean
so that's
oldest
like
to
the
newest,
create
right?
date. Sorry.
Yeah, based on the date created, yes. So it starts like whichever smart list you pick based on all the same filters, but it sends to them from the oldest contact to the newest contact.
Got it.
And this won't be a problem if you send all at once. The problem is only if you drip over multiple days and there's contacts coming in all the time.
Do people really expect that new contacts not present at the time of initiation would be included in the batch to begin with?
No, so the problem here is stuff like, hey, why did it send to this contact? Why did it not send to this contact? And if we freeze the list, then how do you make sure that a new contact also gets it? Or I don't want a particular contact to get it. Like if we freeze the list, they're like, hey, it's only sent to the first page, but I don't want these few people to get it. So I go kill the tags, which really should remove them from the smart list. But if we froze the query and the contacts beforehand, that means that they're still going to get it. So then how do we make it reactive? Because people might want to opt people out. They're like, I just send it to the first 100. I see these 4 people who I don't want to send it to. I go kill the tags, and then they'll come back with, why did it still send it to them? Because I removed the tag and they shouldn't be on that smart list anymore. So we can't freeze it beforehand. So it needs to be reactive. But if it's reactive, are we sending to the new contact or not? So there were just a lot of edge cases around it. So this was what we thought was the easiest to understand, but we'll really have to test that out to see if people really get it or if we have to.
I'm just curious how other systems work in this regard. I would just sort of follow that heuristic. I expect that most people, when you drip out on a list like that, there's some explicit
idea. Where can you drip out? So this is what we were looking for, but where can you drip out?
What about drip? What about drip?
I haven't seen it.
I'm just trying. Yeah, I'm trying to. I think the answer is you. I think the answer here. Scipio has this idea, doesn't it?
You can schedule for later for a particular contact, but I don't know if you can take an entire list and drip out to them.
Well, so I kind of think about this as just a delay. I think about this more as like I'm sending out a batch, but I'm just simply delaying. I'm just arbitrarily, or not arbitrarily, but I'm just
so the only problem with that case that we ran into is, let's say you scheduled it for 100 people and you suddenly realize you don't want 4 of those people to get it. When you go kill those tags, is your expectation going to be that it doesn't send to those 4 people, or does it still does send it? You're going to go cancel the whole bulk request and start from scratch.
Well, I think you either have to kill the batch and restart it.
No, but you're saying that now, but this will become the next problem then is, hey, I just scheduled it by mistake. I need to pull 4 contacts out. So I'm going to go cancel the entire bulk request, pull those tags off the 4 contacts and schedule it back in for everyone, but skip the first 100 people that it's sent to.
But then won't I assume that the way that the sending is being done is explicitly in the order that I've ordered the smart list?
Which was my argument as well. But the problem here is, I mean, for me, that was the same thing is, if someone looks at this list, they're going to expect that it delivers in that same order. Like the first person on that list is where they're going to go check to see if it's sent to that person.
Right.
But the problem also is with these type of things, where if they want to pull a person off the list, is the expectation that they cancel the whole bulk request, find a way to exclude the people it already sent to, and create a new bulk request with that exclusion.
I see how you got to the conclusion of let's just get it out there and see what happens.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Can you explain again what is going to happen? Because I know how it works in Drip.
Okay. So, how does it work in Drip? So you order up a big list. You say, okay, I want to shoot out 10 a day for the next 100 days. Go. How does it work?
Well, it works. And then if you don't want someone, you just remove them.
So you're in the middle of you're in the middle of the batch send, and you want to remove someone from the batch. How do I remove someone from the batch?
You go to that contact record and remove them. You can also do like a bulk thingy where you, I don't know, have everybody that was, like a Facebook lead from March 10th through March 20th, and then you can bulk remove them.
So basically they have like this container called a batch of some kind, and then my contact record goes into that batch.
So it sounds like it's just scheduled ahead of time. So
that's right.
If you say, if you want to schedule 1,000 people, I want to do it over 10 days, and I want to send 100 a day over 10 days, it schedules, like it picks the first 100, schedules them for the next day, picks the next 100.
What order does it go in?
So it's almost like they got added to a campaign.
In the order of 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you right now subscribe, okay, you start getting 1, and then the next day 2, and the next day, and then tomorrow you subscribe again, you get email 1 again.
No, that's not bad. That's me subscribing individually. But what happens if you like select 1,000 contacts and you shoot and you add them all at the same time? Right, that's adding to a campaign. That's not that's not necessarily a batch send. That's like a batch add to campaign. But what if you're trying to do a mass blast of one message to 1,000 people?
But do it over 10 days.
We never do it.
Yeah, because Drip doesn't do it. That's what you'll find.
They don't.
There we go. That's Varun's point. He couldn't find an example, so that's why we're gonna do it this way.
I wonder if Active Campaign does something like that and how it does that. Did you already look at that?
Yeah, so they don't.
Oh, they don't.
This
Okay.
is, I mean, yeah, we're kind of stepping out of known territory over here. So I guess we're going to learn as we go. The good news is there is a lot of logging. There's a lot of detail over here. So people will really be able to see what's going on. The only thing that's slightly, I mean, that's not intuitive is the fact that you see the list sorted in a certain order, but really the order in which the bulk request is going to run is slightly different. And I mean, we'll continue to explore solutions there, but that's really the one piece that doesn't fit.
Varun, I have a follow-up to that.
Can I make a comment as well, please, Varun?
Yeah.
So let's say you created a blast, right? Are you in the back end storing that as a campaign of sorts? Is there a container like what Sean mentioned that we can then reference to exclude people from a smart list? Like, you know, the people that I missed in my last blast or blast ID, whatever. Does that exist? Yeah,
it is. There is like a bulk action or a blast ID where based off them being added to a previous one, you can exclude them.
And would we be able to modify the smart list or duplicate the smart list and add that other filter to it? Because if that is so, then, you know, that enables this use case or pretty much all of these use cases, right? You know, I want to stop the bulk because there are 4 people that I don't want this to go to. Stop it, create a new list by duplicating the original one and exclude the people that did get it. And those those 4 people.
That would work. I mean, so my approach for this whole thing was the whole point of doing these bulk actions on the smart list was to eliminate the previous way of doing the bulk actions, which was incredibly complex. So I was just trying to come at this from the point of what requires the least change from the person. What for removing someone out of a campaign, just killing the tag and having the expectation that it won't send to them seemed like the easiest way. The only piece that we weren't able to get right was the sorting. And even there, we were really stuck with only one case where a new contact's added to the list. If it goes before where the current pointer is or the current sending is, or if it goes after the current sending, what happens? So there's some inconsistency in what happens when a new person enters that list. In one case, they get it. In one case, they don't. So that's really the one point we're stuck on. And there might be a better solution there as well. Like maybe new people to the list just don't get it, or we'll find.
Yeah, that would be my solution, because I don't think it's inherently obvious that someone would just automatically sneak into the list at a later date subsequent, because this is a one-time blast. That's what I'm thinking of it as. And so I would think that if I needed, you know, if I sent a blast to my customers today, hey, everybody, we're having a Halloween special, you know, and somebody jumps in tomorrow and the sending's not done, I may or may not want to necessarily add them to the Halloween blast. I could see that not being what I was expecting.
Yeah, and by the way, you know, by the way of predictability, I think it would be best to freeze it and then have an easy action like duplicate this blast and then add the people who didn't get it or some specific people, right? So duplicate it and then go in and edit before you send and edit the audience that you're sending it to. But, you know, predictability is going to be key, especially when you're scaling and sending to a lot of people. There's no human way that everybody's going to go in and check the full list of everybody who's getting it.
Yeah.
Varun, I do really large mailings, 4,500 a day, mainly through Aweber. And in Aweber and any other autoresponder system that I've used, once it goes into that blast, then there's no way to know who's getting it or what. They just go out and they go out in random order and whatever they get. So I would say what you've actually decided to use is probably actually the best solution.
Well, it sounds like regardless, you're going to have more insight with this than any other tool, which is exciting.
Yeah. And I mean, we have the opportunity to continue to improve it. So all of this feedback that you guys are giving, like this is how the media library got added into the email builder, and that was global media library that's going to go into the rest of the app. So I'm sure, I mean, we'll find the answer. Maybe not on this QA call, but maybe next week or the week after, but we'll find the answer.
Awesome. It looked like there was a couple of other buttons there that you didn't get to, but was one of them move people within pipelines?
Yes. So if we want to go back, so there's the bulk SMS. There's also the pipeline change where if you want to move a bunch of people from one pipeline stage to another or update any data on the opportunity, Radhi, you can use this. Again, the UI over here will slightly change over time because right now it makes it feel like you need to fill every field, but that's not required. You can only decide to move them from one pipeline stage to another or only update the lead value, those type of pieces. But you can bulk update opportunities. You can also queue people. We couldn't find an icon here, but you can also add people to campaign in bulk. So it's SMS, email, campaign, and opportunity.
Sweet.
Can you undo?
After you queue up a bulk action?
Like, oh crap, I just moved 50 people to the wrong pipeline.
Yeah, all of the bulk actions you can undo.
That's cool.
I mean, undo as in if it's an email, you can stop, but you can't undo the email being sent.
I got that one. Yeah. I don't expect you to perform magic tricks.
All right, cool. So thanks for the preview, Varun. Next up, Brian, is there the ability to automatically cancel an appointment via trigger? Like if they don't do a specific action and hence open up the schedule. Use case, you must fill out this health assessment within 12 hours of your appointment or it will be automatically canceled.
I mean, we could do it. We don't have one now.
Wait, hold on. You can't change the appointment status to canceled off that trigger action?
No, you can change the appointment status, but you can't permanently delete it. But yeah, you can cancel the appointment already on.
Yeah, of course, that's what they want. No. Like that's what they want. Yeah. So I think you could do that right here, right now.
Cool. There you go, Brian. The appointment status trigger is what you're looking for.
Would that remove it from the calendar?
Action. Huh?
Would that remove it from the calendar?
So it'll mark it as canceled, which will free up the spot. You don't want to, and then you'll have a record of the fact that it was canceled because subsequently you don't want to hard delete it, right? Because what happens if I call in and I'm like, hey, what the heck happened to my appointment? You need to be able to say, oh, well, I can see it was canceled because you didn't fill out your health assessment within the 12-hour period.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's more just about making sure the calendar space will be open for new bookers.
Cancel or reopen it.
Sweet. Okay.
All right, next up, James, when using a trigger for a one opportunity, is there a way to grab notes info and push to Zapier?
Yeah, just basically whenever. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, no, go for it.
I was just going to say, yeah, whenever I have a trigger for whenever a client gets to the one category, it sends a webhook to Zapier, and then Zapier will push a task into Asana. I just want to be able to grab the CRM notes and be able to push that into the Asana task, but there wasn't a field in there. I didn't know if there was
is there a notes endpoint on the API?
Yeah, so that's exactly what I was loading, but for some reason Postman.
I know, man. I'm having that same problem. But yeah, so James, long term though, like the problem with web hooking out every single gosh darn note is there's a one-to-many correlation, right? So there could be, technically speaking, a billion trillion. There could be n number of notes. Mm-hmm. So programmatically, that's a really stupid way to design it, which is why we don't do it that way. So as a workaround, though, if you said, well, yeah, but I'm never going to have more than 4 notes anyways, then the better way to handle it is just for you to hit up the notes endpoint and pull the notes for that contact yourself.
Okay, so just
and you can do this on Zapier. So once you get the webhook for the opportunity in Zapier, you can hit this notes endpoint for that specific contact and it'll return the notes for that contact.
Okay, so there's like a lookup step inside of Zapier that I can do.
So inside of Zapier, you can do a web action. So you can do an action of type webhook, and then they have different request types. So you can actually fire off GET request, POST request, PUT request, whatever, and actually call the API directly within Zapier.
That's awesome. Okay, cool. I will do that. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
It is cool. Okay, I saw a question over here in Facebook from Mike. Can you make a snapshot with the new calendar? I tried using a merge tag in the slug to avoid this. Page already exists, but no luck.
You should be able to use a snapshot with the new calendar. It did not go out on day 1, but I know it is. I think it is live now, but I can confirm that.
I see what he's saying. So it should just add some random string of numbers to the end of the slug, right?
Yeah.
When you load the snapshot.
So I don't know what the behavior is right now. Let me check. maybe it adds a slug or maybe it empties it. I mean, it'll either create a random one or empty it out, but I don't know what action we have. I can check it.
Gotcha. Also, a button or link from calendar view or opportunity card to contact page would be very helpful. Well, so I see, because he's saying if you're looking at a pipeline, you open up an opportunity card, how do I then jump to the contact record?
You click the name on the opportunity card.
Right, but if you've already opened the opportunity card, do you then have to close it and then click the name?
I thought we had a link in there, but we can check. But that's definitely something we can add if it doesn't exist.
Is that my background noise?
Yeah, I don't know who's got the TV, the news on. There we go. Okay, I noticed in the contact area, the notes tab has the newest entry on top. Can we please make it the same for the appointment tab? Currently, the newest appointment is lost to the bottom once you have over 4-ish.
We can definitely do that.
Okay, cool. All right, next up, we had another question in Facebook from Daniel. What's up with the account levels / features / pricing changes? I had a plan to upgrade to get white label mobile apps, and that feature just got moved to a new enterprise account level. Didn't see any warning features and pricing were changing.
Nope. So that's not entirely accurate. We still offer the mobile app the way we always have at the additional $497 level. So if you want to jump off mute, I'd love to know who you heard that from.
He's over in Facebook.
Oh,
so
okay.
Daniel, you can just go into the marketplace and you should be able to go down to, it's the very last one.
Yeah.
And
I mean, there's multiple ways. You could even write into support and ask for it to be enabled on your account, or you could go to the marketplace and purchase it any of these ways.
Yeah, I mean, from a pricing perspective, the only pricing change that has been released to date is we've added a $497 plan, which so far has the agent reporting as its sole additional feature, with the intention of adding more features as we come along, and we're working on our SaaS mode, which will make its way out as well. But even there, we're still trying to figure out the best way to go about that. So far, the $497 plan will have more advanced features in the future, but that's as far as we've gone to date.
Just so you know, the features table inside the account, if you go to agency billing,
yeah,
it does say it just says white label mobile on the enterprise level. Just so you know.
No, maybe that's where the confusion is, which totally makes sense. Thank you for letting me know. We'll get that figured out.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Does that also include white label Zapier too? Like having our own Zap? Does that come with the Agency Pro, or is that only Enterprise?
No, so it's a completely separate plan. So you don't have to go to the Pro to get any of these features. Even on the 297 plan, for an additional 497, there's a white label mobile app and Zap.
Gotcha. Thank you.
The white label mobile app and Zap is its own plan for 497. Your base plan doesn't matter. You can get it on the 97, 297 on any.
Is that a one-time fee?
No,
it's a monthly recurring.
It's 497 recurring.
Yes, sir.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Okay, next up, I had a client use a general user for a campaign, but it was switching between sending between her and her partner. She also found a bug that she could not create a gender custom field in form because it was saying it already existed as a standard field, but it does not.
So gender should be possible to create as a custom field. This was a bug that we had a long time back. And then we added a field called gender in, but then we decided we didn't want to, so we pulled the field. But you should be able to add a field called gender.
Yeah, if I could share my screen. So this is what happens when I try to do it as a checkbox specifically.
Cool. I'll get the team to test that out, but it should be possible. We'll make sure that that works.
Yeah, and then the other thing was in her campaign, she has, so it's her and her business partner Heidi, but they made a connect, which is like a general just for both of them. And this is on every campaign configuration, but with this campaign, they sent it out, and as you can see, it's coming from Heidi. But other times, like this one, it came from the Connect user, and other times
this is a recent change that happened because of, again, some other confusion. So usually what we use the user list on the campaign for was who do we assign the lead to when someone gets added to a campaign. And that's really all it did, is round robin and assign the lead. But over time, what started happening is someone's in the campaign, but you go switch the person who's assigned to that contact while they're in the campaign. So now should it put the new person's name or should it continue to send out as the old person? So previously it would have just always stuck to the person who they were assigned to when they got added into the campaign. Now what it does is it switches. So if the lead is assigned to a specific person, it actually sends out as that person. So when you get added to the campaign, if the lead isn't assigned, it round robins assigns someone. But if after they get added to the campaign, you reassign, it should go out as that person.
Okay, so this sent out as Heidi, but this person is assigned to Michelle.
Yeah. So, but were they assigned to Michelle when the message sent out, or was that changed?
Yeah, she was assigned to Michelle.
Yeah, and the message in there says, yeah, Michelle as well. Yeah.
Well, her name is Michelle, but yeah. So I guess I don't quite understand, like, why, if the campaign configuration was the Connect general user, why it would send out as different people then still.
Well, because it started off as Connect, right? And then someone said, oh no, so think about it. Like, let's say you have two salespeople and it starts off with salesperson A and salesperson A contacts me and they find out, oh, you know what, actually I need to hand you off to salesperson B because they handle that department or know that information or whatever it is. So I'm gonna go ahead and reassign your contact to salesperson B. The next message that goes out, why would I get another message from salesperson A when I've already been reassigned to salesperson B at that point?
Right, but she wasn't assigned to Heidi. She was assigned to Michelle. So therefore, wouldn't it have shown up as it coming from Michelle?
Doesn't that message say Michelle?
No, it said it was coming from Heidi. The contact's name just happened to also be Michelle, but
okay. Well,
the contact was yeah.
Well, we can. So I mean, if you shoot that URL over to Varun, we can walk that conversation back in time and see if it got swapped.
Okay. All right.
So we can run that one down. Just send the campaign and the lead name and we will run that one.
All right, next up, Anna, I want to start using this for reputation management. Maybe I missed an update on this, but I wanted showed appointment to automatically get a review request.
So one of the items that we are adding, so we're actually starting to pick reviews back up and actively work on it again. And one of the items that we're adding in is a trigger action to send a review request. And there already is a trigger to send, to trigger something based on the appointment status. So you will be able to say if appointment status is showed, then send review request. Right now, the piece that's missing is the action to send a review request. That's something that's on our list to add. I'd say by the end of the year, like before December, the action should be there.
Now, as a workaround in the meantime, you could simply create a campaign that has one step in it that basically says the exact same thing as a review request and sends out that link, and it would effectively get you to the same end that you're looking to get to in the meantime.
So I would do a campaign for reviews and then a trigger.
Correct. So it'd be like on appointment status showed, add to campaign, review campaign. And the review campaign is literally an SMS message that's going out saying, hey, Sean, please click here to leave us a review.
Okay.
And if you wanted, you could even take it further and build a review gate. And we have a HighLevel how-to on that, which I'll throw into the chat.
Thank you.
Not recommended by Google, not condoned by us, but you certainly can do it. All right.
Thanks.
Well, we got a lot of questions. Okay, Will, my clients have shared their calendar with my Google Calendar, my Google ID, but when I go to build a new appointment link, it only shows my personal calendars. Do I have to connect originally being them?
This is something that we've had reported a couple of times. The team is working on it to fix it. So moving forward, and I'm guessing in about a week or week and a half, we should have this go out. But the change is, if you're an admin on the account, you're basically able to see everyone's calendar. Anyone who's integrated their Google with that location, you're able to see their calendars. So you can set this up for all of them. But if they log in as that user, they're only able to see their own. But
yeah,
right
but
now, you're right.
In his case, Varun, I think what he's saying is this client has delegated access to him for their calendar. Yeah. So it's not showing up in his list.
No, that should work.
That's why I stopped you, because I think that's what he's saying. Can you jump off mute?
Even there, it could be the same thing. Is if you connected your Google account while you were logged in as a certain user, make sure you're logged in as that same user when you're setting this up, because right now it pulls based on that.
Yeah, so that's the question here. So can we get more detail?
Will, are you here? Looks like you're off mute, but I don't hear you. Maybe it's a microphone issue.
All right, we'll come back around when Will's ready.
Okay. Steve, hi team. I have a few questions about the upgraded system and upgraded iOS app. Is the upgrade to the new system going to allow for calling from appointments? For example, if I click on a calendar appointment, will I be able to call the contact right from there? Right now, if I click appointment, there aren't really actions I can take from that screen.
Yeah, we can make sure that's possible.
Yeah, that makes sense, especially in the
I
apps.
think just like generally speaking, a lot of the times my clients are doing like phone appointments, you know? And if they click on I've had this basically told to me so many times, like I click on the calendar appointment, and if you have like a Google Calendar or something on your cell phone, there's always like, if there's like a information there, it's click to call numbers and things like that. Like that should be, in my eyes, like how it is on the calendar at HighLevel.
Yeah.
Show the location field with the Zoom link, etc.
Right. Yeah. Or like if like the contact icon, if you have the calendar appointment, you click on the appointment and it's got the person's name there, that should be hyperlinked to their contact page, you know?
I want to upvote that, because that's a big complaint for my clients as well. You know, it says Ruby Smith, and they can't just click Ruby Smith and then change everything very easily.
Yeah. So that's an easy one to fix. I'll make sure both of those are possible. You're able to call from that screen and you're able to jump into the contact.
Yeah, and I'm just, those are the two that I thought of, but like all the other information, you know, should be like some sort of hyperlink to somewhere else on the app. For sure. Because right now it's just kind of like basic info.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, next up, Sophie, question around when I am bringing my ClickFunnels purchase pages over to the funnel section. I've noticed that the purchase buttons and prices disappear. Is there a way to fix that?
Yes, so when you import a page, you will have to add all of the products again, and you will have to also add in the two-step order form for now. That does not automatically come over.
And that's because I'm assuming we don't have access to that information. Like,
yeah, that's a lot harder than it looks on paper, right? Because you're having to re-access Stripe through a different authorization. You know, if you could somehow gain access to someone's Stripe account by cloning a website, the whole internet would break overnight.
Right. Okay, cool. So next up, Dave, would it be possible, oh, this is a good one. Would it be possible to get the Font Awesome icons upgraded to be the full Font Awesome set rather than just the free subset?
So could we go out and pay for Font Awesome on behalf of every single HighLevel user ever? Probably not, because I imagine the monetary cost of that would be insane. But I assume
Font Awesome is cheap.
I think
but
it's just a
there's
SaaS
a couple of updates.
implementation, Sean. I think you only pay one very small fee for you to use it as a SaaS. I think it's actually quite small.
So, well, how about this? We'll go run that down. I'm curious to see if the Font Awesome people have a licensing arrangement like that, because it seems like then someone could just go buy Font Awesome, stand up a website called Font Awesome for half the price, and then sell it off to anybody who wanted to use it.
No. So we won't be allowing people to use the Font Awesome anywhere else. It's just within the app. I guess the request is coming
that's right. As long as
it's
you're
for like
doing
custom
it within
menu
the app,
items, right?
then it's a as long as it's within the app, Sean. Then
Got it. Okay.
There is a licensing thing. If
Good.
you let them download them, then yes, what you said is true.
I believe you.
Okay.
And
I
just
second that.
registered
That's correct.
And I just registered fontawesome for halfprice.com. Thanks, Sean.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. I'm going to come buy it from you. Hold on. I'll be right there.
ProPack. All right, cool. Sounds like we'll look into it. Sophie, I've also noticed that when I'm sending emails, they end up in the promotion folder in Gmail, even though I've set up my domain DNS and Mailgun. Is there a way to work around that to ensure my emails are going to the client's inbox, especially on Gmail? So, Sophie,
is Kristen Rushman on the call?
Yeah, loaded question. I would check in with Kristen Rushman. I don't think she's on the call today, but I'll throw her name, or I think I know how to spell it. She spells it a little different, right? Kristen Rushman. I think that's how you spell it, Sophie. I just threw it into.
Reach out to her on Facebook. She's the absolute expert on email deliverability, at least as far as we've met to date.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, great. How can we track call conversions with a UMT? I mean, UTM, I'm assuming?
Yep. I'm guessing that's UTM. Call conversions with UTM parameters. So one question is, where do you want to track it? Do you want this conversion to go back to AdWords? Or is it just being able to see that inside HighLevel?
Karam, you're on mute. Are you there?
But if you are, both of them are possible. So if you want to mark it as a conversion in AdWords, the way you do it is you create a number pool or a single number, either way, and you embed that on your page. Once you embed that on the page, when someone lands on the page, it automatically grabs all the UTM parameters. And when they call into that number, it attaches all of the parameters to that contact. So you can then use a trigger to mark them as a conversion in AdWords.
Righto. Steph, sorry, I skipped this one. This is a good one. Is it possible to be able to link an icon? That would be very helpful for social media icons. Yes, yeah. I've had this pain.
We can do that. So, I mean, I just pulled this up, and I guess this is, whose email is this? I think this is Dave's email, but we do have the social media icons. You can pick the icons. You can specify links for each of these icons. All of that's possible with the new email builder.
What about funnels and websites as well? That's where I was having the issue.
I got it. So we can make sure that's possible. So I know you can have a link to an icon already on the funnel. Let's test that.
I don't think so, because I've tried this several times. You build a footer, you put the icons in there, and then you're like, what? Yeah. I can't link them?
Then you have to go find images and remove the background. And...
I have a few snippets that do that on a custom HTML block. I can share them with you.
Yeah, but that's a pain, right? We should just make the native links linkable, or the native icons linkable, and that would be so easy.
I've added that to my list as well.
Cool.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sophie, is there a way to create a template funnel with the email triggers and campaign already set up that we can duplicate and import to different client accounts? Yeah, Sophie, so that's snapshots. Just head over to help.gohighlevel.com and search snapshot, and you'll get video tutorials and docs. But yeah, you just do that in your agency level account. You go to your settings, account snapshots, and you create them there. All right, next up, I'm trying to add a code in the funnel, but the CSS is not loading up. Any leads for that?
I almost always find that the CSS is misformatted or missing a bracket or something. So I would Google something like CSS checker in Google and go find there's like a billion of them that'll look at the syntax and try to point out any problems. Otherwise, the other thing I've seen is if that's correct, oftentimes you're not throwing in like the important tag. And so as a result, it's not overriding the default style set. Although, Varun, I think we should inject that CSS somehow at a proper place in the funnel to always automatically provide an override and assume that that CSS is like the alpha CSS.
Yeah.
But those are the two most common errors. So either it's a syntax error, like you're probably missing a curly brace, or just if you right click on the element you're trying to apply the CSS to and do an inspect in the browser tools, what you can often see is over on the right-hand side, you'll see the order of application of the CSS rules, and you'll see that your CSS rules are below the dominant top ones, and that tells you that you just need to put in an exclamation important at the end of the line in order to force that to be the winning application.
There's another thing that I've seen people do that keeps them from having CSS kick in, and that is instead of adding it to the CSS specific fields that you guys have, I've seen people just add it to a custom HTML element and not wrap it in a style tag. So I would check for that too.
Good call.
Cool. Hopefully that helps. Steve, I have a general question. With all the new updates to the system and the new 497 Pro agency version of Go High Level, is there new training videos and support videos? If so, where are they so I can get schooled up on all the new great stuff? Steve, that is coming soon. As we get closer, as the products get into Q&A is when I can typically get access to them and when we can start generating the content. So yeah, you're going to see a lot of new materials start coming out pretty fast as we approach the end of the year here.
Is that going to be like put into the same sort of system that you guys have been using where you just kind of like release a new video and it's posted in the Facebook group and it's like a how-to Friday or whatever? Is it like, is there going to be a whole new like kind of revamp of the platform of help videos? I feel like it's just changed so much, you know, from like its infancy.
Yeah, there is a lot. We're doing a lot around there. Also, another big part of this, I think, is a lot of the videos are going to start coming back out as reworks that are white label by default. Because as we push the SaaS model out more, and we expect agencies to be selling the various features in the platform to their clients, you know, we want to provide help videos not just for you, but also for your clients to learn. The workflow builder probably won't make that list necessarily, although maybe it should. But yeah, so I think we will rework a lot of these here in the near term.
Yeah, but in general, you should be able to find everything at help.gohighlevel.com. I mean, that's where everything goes at the end of the day, almost everything, unless it's like a daily Q&A video or something, and that would just be in YouTube.
Sure.
But yeah, like there'll be a new section in there in probably just called white labeled videos. And like Sean said, like all the core things that we're going to teach in SaaS mode that you should be selling will have a corresponding white labeled video. Okay,
cool. And then like, can you sort this help.gohighlevel.com like by date so that like you can see the newest videos that have been posted? Because obviously those are like the newest features, right?
I know we can on the back end. That's a good question on the front end. I can open up an incognito here.
See, there's announcements.
So if you go to the knowledge base.
And I'm also, this is another reason I'm a big fan of the YouTube channel, is you can do all that stuff fairly easily. And you can subscribe to it and you can get pinged when there's a new one.
Mm-hmm. Let's see if I click into one. Yeah, there doesn't seem to be a way to sort, which is, I'll have to check and see if that is something that we might gain by going to Circle. All right. So yeah, lots of new videos coming for sure. Martin, in two-step order form, there is an option to turn mobile number collection on or off. We want it on, but can we have a tick box option to make it required or not required, as we find some customers are confused because the international prefix defaults to where agency location is, and we are losing sales because they can't proceed with the purchase as they must enter a mobile number. I see. So to reiterate, he's saying if I turn it on, it makes it so that you have to put in a number, but I'd like it to be optional.
But and I respect the question, but I don't think that's the right answer. The answer that I hope is on our list here soon is the ability to simply put a drop down in the front of a phone number like Calendly that has the flag and the country code sitting there, so people we can default it to the country that you're either that the location is in, or even we could even attempt to do so based on your IP address at some point. But either way, you can just see an indication that you need to change that if that's not your flag. That seems to work for a lot of other apps, and I think that's the direction we should take.
Yeah, that would be great. That'd be great, Sean. Yeah.
Unless Varun disagrees with me.
No, I'm not sure if it's already done or if it's on the list, but it's definitely something we already talked about.
And is it part of the two-step order form as well as the normal order form, or the normal form? Excuse me.
No, so this was for the normal form. I'll add that in for the two-step order form.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Varun, if you haven't already done this, I've used a view component that does exactly that, exactly what Sean said about the flags, that could just be incorporated straight off. I can send you the link
sure.
across.
You can just send that over to me. I'm pretty sure we have one, but it can't hurt to look at an alternative.
Yep.
So just send that over to me and I'll make sure that it's easy.
I told you we use standard view components, Dave.
Yep.
All right, so we just hit the hour. We have a couple more questions. Steve, for Slack channel support, I was recently removed. Can I get added back in?
Yep, already done.
Okay. Sean, Varun, I noticed that the Postman collection listing Zapier APIs have been taken down. I reached out to the original developer.
Yes, that is true. So we actually asked that person to take it down because it was starting to confuse a lot of people, because they went there first and they thought that was the HighLevel API, and it's starting to confuse people. So we asked them to take it down. But Sergio, what you can do is just ping me with what APIs you were using there that you were missing, and we'll just give you a proper API for that.
Okay. And by the way, huge props to the person who put that up to begin with. Thomas Arkaltz III. He really helped us out for a very long time. I'm just happy that we finally got to the place where, we were able to actually do this for real.
Well, there are some
I know
APIs.
He has some hack around APIs. We're aware.
No, so I'm guessing it's for the messaging, but we have a proper conversations API that we're building as well. So is this for the messaging, or what is it for? Or for the phone calls?
It's for, so today there was a conversation about it, actually. It's to add a lead to a campaign.
Oh, no, that should probably be out next week. So
that would be great.
Yeah. So this is already on the list, and I know it's already built, so that should be out by next week.
Okay. So does that mean that you're releasing campaign APIs in general, or some specific ones?
Yeah. So let me see if it's already out. So we just pushed out APIs to fetch list of forms, tags, surveys, all of these. Form and survey submissions are coming next. We launched an API to add a snapshot to a location. So you can use an API to add a snapshot to a location right now. So that just, I think, went out. Let me see if it already went out today, or if
it's still, well, the documentation is still at 108,
it's still old.
And it doesn't include it.
Yeah, it doesn't. But I saw all of these updates today, and they have these ready. So they haven't pushed it out yet, but I'm pretty sure it'll go out by tomorrow at least. So there's a get API for the tags, forms, campaigns, all of these. There's a add snapshot to location you can do using the API now. And this API is also on the list to add to a campaign.
Okay, cool.
Okay, Sophie, how can we set up the onboarding process for clients where they're able to fill out an application, book in a sales call, and then send them a contract and a payment link? Is all of that possible inside of HighLevel? Yes, for sure. Now
so people have set this up, yes, but
there's a bunch of people in our community. Yeah, I mean, there's a million ways to do this. Sophie, one, you can, the one piece is like you can make a form with a signature thing at the bottom for your contract. But if you wanted a more robust contract, a lot of people use like PandaDocs or whatever. So when they get to that step, they go to Zapier and have PandaDocs send out the contract or something like that. But you can definitely make that whole flow work by just using forms for an application and then nurture them into booking the call with our booking widgets. And then based on, you know, a manual action and a pipeline move or something like that, have it trigger out to send the contract. Now, if you go into our Facebook community and you post, hey, I'm looking to, you know, build out an onboarding flow, a lot of our community have already built like packaged up products around this with training materials and everything. So you might want to check with them. If you're not in the Facebook group, just go to gohighlevel.com/FB and you can request to join it. So hopefully that helps. And if you get stuck, just email support and we'll follow up. Dave, would we be able to get an API of the funnels and products?
Dave, I think you're asking about the transaction on the funnel, right? Not just fetch all the products that are linked to a funnel and fetch all the funnels.
Well, I do want that, the transactions, but I'd also like a one for funnels and products. In particular, at the moment, there's no way to find out which funnels are attached to which domains or anything like that. With an API on something like that, we'd be able to just knock together a quick little list for our users of what funnels they've got on what domains. A lot of my users are going to actually have quite a number of domains and quite a lot of funnels. So getting hold of that sort of information is going to be very key to them.
Got it. So let me add that to the list. So funnels API, I know we already have to be able to list all the funnels that you have inside the account, but we don't have domains there, but I'll make sure that we have that in.
Okay, thank you. And products as well, if possible.
Yep.
Steph, is there a roadmap yet of the agency account features and when they'll be released?
Which specific features?
So I know that we're working on a PDF, right, that breaks down everything that's going to be in all the different plans.
Yep.
Do we know when that's going to be out in the public?
So no, but Steph, are you on the call? Like which specific?
Yep, I'm here.
Which specific features are you looking for?
Just basically everything that would come with the agency / SaaS 497 plan, like that was talked about on the Level Up thing. Like this SaaS stuff is coming out on this date, and this stuff is coming out on this date, just so, like, even if it's an estimate, just so we can kind of make a better decision of, because my next question was basically, you know, I upgraded and I feel like the features are kind of, when are they coming? I'm kind of up in the air. And
so this is, so I think over there, we should, I mean, we thought we were being clear, but we kind of missed the mark, I think, over there. So you don't have to upgrade today. You can upgrade when all of the features are there. And you can move back to the 297, everything stays the same. So all of the features you had before still stay, nothing gets removed. You can move back to the 297 and when all of these features are out, then move back to the 497. And on the 497, the SaaS features we're working on right now, our plan is towards the end of November release. The first version of this, which will give you a sales page where you're able to have people sign up under your SaaS. It gives you pricing plans and the pricing plans have features tied to them. So based on which plan the person signed up for, they only have those features. And we're also working on video rebilling, and the rebilling might launch with the pricing plan and the sales page, or it might be just after. So those are the first two items rolling out. And the WordPress plugin we've already actioned out, and that will roll out in December as well. All of the other stuff I think we had was only Q1 next year. But to answer the second question, you can go back to the 297 all of the features are there. Nothing will be taken away. And these features out, you can switch from.
So we're talking about like a Black Friday release on those then? What's the target for that?
For which one specifically?
With those SaaS, to be able to enroll people with certain features and be able to do the checkout page and all that kind of stuff. Like
so, I mean, we just finished we're just finishing the product work on it and actioning it out. And we have a team that we've spun up that's working on it. So we're really pushing as soon as possible, but will it be ready by then? We don't know. So we'll really have to wait and see.
Because kind of in conjunction with some of the other questions, just barely, like to build those checkout pages and to build the, you know, purchase and contract, things like that, it almost seems like a waste of energy at this point, because if this feature's available by the end of the month, like, is it better just to wait and use
well,
your...
I mean, our goal is to make it a waste of energy. So
okay,
we're just we're just expending our energy as fast as possible to make that a waste for you.
No, I hear you.
Just,
I'm just like this weekend, that was my project. It was like, I need to build out my checkout pages and build out some of these product offering pages. But now I'm like, shoot, maybe I better wait till Thanksgiving.
Yeah. I mean, at max, I think a month from now, or a month and a half worst case, this is definitely going to be out. This is our top priority item. This is the call that, I mean, this is the item that we talk about every day on most of our calls. So we're really putting a rush on this. So this will be out a month and a half worst case by the end of November, best case. So
awesome.
Okay, Steph, or who is that? Steph, I see that you asked questions about syncing to Google Calendar. I'm going to grab the calendar video and shoot you that. So yes, you can definitely sync everything over to Google Calendars. You can even have it check conflict calendars, all sorts of cool stuff. I just shot you the video there. Okay. Mo, I don't know if you're still here. When I set an event start date time in the future, when adding a contact to the campaign runs immediately without respecting. Yeah, that's not how the event start date time works. That is to do before timing leading up to an event start date or time. We just did a high-level how-to on that. You can check out it, our YouTube channel to be one of the most recent videos to help give you clarification around that. Or you can go to help.gohighlevel.com and just search event start date, and you'll get a doc on that. Are we able to upgrade our font set? So we talked about that. Steve, are we going to have the option to connect our LinkedIn account directly to Go High Level at some point? I think the answer is if they would allow us, we would do it, right? I've heard that a few times.
And adding all of these integrations is something that we're looking at. But what do you specifically want to use LinkedIn for? Like connect it and do what?
I would be super excited at the prospect of being able to message people. We use Ulink right now, and it's awesome, but I would just be tickled if I could do it in high level.
Got it. I've added that to the list as well.
Yeah, the messaging really is cool if you could tie that. I know that the outreach and the connection requests they shy away from that, but it seems like there are people doing the messaging interface.
Yeah.
We also talked at one point about Instagram DMs being in the channel. Did we?
So Instagram does have something, not yet, but Instagram.
I've applied for the program. I'm waiting to hear back.
So Instagram is possible now, but I mean, not inside high level, but I mean, it's possible to build for that now, but we will work towards that.
What was the question right before that though? Before what channel were they
LinkedIn DMs, LinkedIn.
Oh.
So I think all of these, like Instagram, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, all of these channels will get taken care of like Q1.
I'm more excited about Google My Business Chat myself.
What happened with that?
We have it on the list actually.
Oh, so we do.
So
we have the access?
adding all of these additional. No. So adding all these additional actions is on the list. Adding WhatsApp, adding Google My Business, adding LinkedIn, all of these, adding Instagram. And I think Q1 of next year will probably knock through a lot of these items.
Awesome. Very cool. Landon, I'm having an issue in my smart list. Hot leads in a pipeline status as open. There are 19 contacts in the smart list, but when I go into the opportunity tab, there are 29 people. I made a Loom video of the issue, by the way. Cool. Well, shoot the Loom to support, but off the top of my head, maybe a date range could make a difference there. Trying to think of what else might affect a discrepancy between a smart list and released all the date ranges. Landon, do you want to share your screen real quick and then we'll end with you?
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Sure, give me just one sec. I'll pop it up.
I had this happen last week, and I deleted a user, and there was 2 contacts associated with that user. So that might be potentially the problem too.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what it was. I if it was 1 or 2, I'd be like, oh, okay, but there was 10 not showing up. Let me see. I will share this right now. Okay, can you see?
Yep.
So if I come down here, go into the contacts and go into smart lists, let me drag this over. Uh-oh, hold on, my charger just unplugged. Give me a sec. I don't want to disappear. Okay. Yeah, so the smart list right here for hot leads open. If I come into the filters, it says inside the pipeline stage for hot leads status open, and there's 20 records now. But if I come into the opportunities and set it to open, and I'll take off the date range, you can see that there's 27.
All right. So the count on the smart list doesn't match the count on the contacts page.
Yeah, it's for some reason it's not matching.
Yeah. So we have a fix going out for this. So this is a long-standing problem that we've had for at least 3 months at least now, and we've been working on a fix. But the fix is ready, and it's I guess it's too late for today, but it will go out tomorrow. So when that fix goes out, this should automatically fix itself. So you don't have to do anything. If this time tomorrow this isn't fixed and the count doesn't match up, just send in an email to support and I'll make sure that we have a look at it.
Okay, cool.
Awesome. And I got a couple of questions as well privately. So Dave said he was waiting for that to snapshot location. Yep, Dave, we built that specifically for you. Sergio is asking about the smart list API. That is on the list. So we should have that API done soon.
Cool.
All right, so just to recap on the upgrade to Pro, if we can begin using it as of the end of November, when can we upgrade and train? As far as accessing the roadmap and features, where is that? Sorry if you were repeating.
We can begin using it. When can we upgrade and train as far as?
I think they're saying if the features are going to roll out at the end of November, when is the training going to roll out?
Hopefully at the same time, but that depends on how much time Chase has and how much warning we give him. So yeah. I think by the end of November, a lot of that might be ready, or maybe it's December, but we'll have to figure that out. I think we'll have an announcement once we have a plan on that.
And is there no beta group or anything like that on some of these features?
No, we can definitely run a beta group. So let me write Todd down for it, and we'll make sure that we reach out. And
yeah, me too. Write down Anna Ashmore.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you guys so much.
Please, if you can, Varun.
Yeah, put Dave down for everything.
Yes, please.
All right, everyone. Cool. Well, thanks for hanging out. We'll be back at the daily Q&As tomorrow and Friday, and we'll see everybody next week.
Thanks. See y'all later.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Many